What if a museum could change your mind in 5 minutes? Stay with me. Watch how shock turns into wonder. A young couple stands near the entrance. They hold hands tightly. Close on their hands, fingers interlaced. Their eyes are wide, moving from one sculpture to another. Quick cut between sculptures. A quiet gasp escapes. They whisper to each other, pointing subtly. A mix of shock and nervous laughter in their gestures. This is not what they expected from a casual afternoon museum visit. They had imagined landscapes and portraits in heavy gold frames. Instead, they find themselves in a space dedicated entirely to the human form, presented without apology or adornment. The initial surprise is a powerful, almost electric feeling. A silent question hangs in the air. Nearby, a family with teenage children moves with a different kind of energy. The parents point out the curve of a marble back. The parents show the technique used to render a hand in bronze. They speak in calm, measured tones. Their children listen, occasionally asking a question. For them, this is not a source of alarm, but a place of learning. It is simply another gallery, another collection of objects made by human hands. Their relaxed posture and easy conversation suggest deep familiarity. The first 5 minutes inside the museum are often the most intense, a silent negotiation between personal history and the art on display. For many visitors, especially those from cultures where nudity is more private, the sheer volume of unclothed figures can be overwhelming. It's a stark contrast to the everyday world they've just left behind. The initial reaction is visceral, an unfiltered response that plays out across their faces. There's a jolt of surprise, a flush of embarrassment, or a moment of awkward humor shared with a companion. People tend to speak in hushed tones, as if not to disturb the silent figures around them. They look from the corner of their eyes, not wanting to stare, yet unable to look away. This initial phase is a delicate dance between curiosity and social conditioning. However, this feeling of unease rarely lasts. The human mind is remarkably adaptive. As visitors move deeper into the museum, a subtle shift begins to occur. The sheer repetition of the human form begins to normalize it. The shock slowly fades, replaced by a growing sense of curiosity and intellectual engagement. The initial singular focus on nudity gives way to an appreciation of other qualities. They begin to notice the incredible skill of the artist, the play of light on a marble torso, the profound emotion captured in a painted face. The body becomes less of a subject of shock and more of a canvas for artistic expression, a vehicle for telling stories about mythology, history, and the human condition. The visitor's emotional arc bends from surprise toward genuine interest and understanding. The environment itself is a silent partner in guiding this transition. The museum is designed to be a calm and contemplative space, an oasis from the noise of the outside world. The walls are painted in soft, neutral colors, allowing the art to command full attention. The lighting is gentle, carefully directed to highlight the form and texture of each piece, inviting closer inspection. This thoughtful presentation encourages a shift in perspective, from seeing a body to seeing a masterpiece. The art you see in this museum isn't a modern invention, born from a vacuum. Instead, each piece is part of a very long and fascinating story, a conversation stretching across millennia. This particular story begins thousands of years ago, in the cradles of Western civilization. We start in ancient Greece, and then ancient Rome. For these cultures, the idealized human body was the ultimate expression of their highest values: health, strength, beauty, and even divinity. It was a physical manifestation of perfection. To achieve this, sculptors became masters of observation, studying human anatomy with incredible care. Their ambition was to capture these perfect, harmonious forms in enduring materials like stone and bronze. We see this in their powerful statues of gods, graceful goddesses, and triumphant athletes. These works weren't meant to shock or provoke. They were public celebrations of a shared human ideal. This classical tradition laid the very foundation for centuries of Western art. But after the fall of Rome, cultural values shifted. For a long time, the focus on the nude largely disappeared, replaced by more spiritual and less worldly concerns. It wasn't until the Renaissance, beginning in 14th century Italy, that the classical ideal was rediscovered. Artists like Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci looked back to the ancient world for inspiration. They once again treated the human body as a marvel, a subject worthy of intense scientific study and artistic depiction. They even dissected bodies to better understand the intricate systems of muscles and bones beneath the skin. This fusion of scientific curiosity and artistic skill produced timeless masterpieces like Michelangelo's David. The nude was reborn as a central and celebrated subject in art. French art, in particular, would play a key role in carrying this tradition forward. From the 17th century onward, the influential Royal Academy in Paris made life drawing the absolute core of its training. To be a great artist, one had to master the human form by drawing from live nude models. Why does a sculpture in a museum feel so different from a picture in a magazine? The answer lies in the power of context. A museum is more than just a building that holds objects. It is a frame that gives those objects meaning and significance. When you walk into a museum, you enter a space that is dedicated to a specific purpose: education, preservation, contemplation. You are implicitly told that the things you are about to see have been chosen for a reason. They have historical importance, artistic merit. This framing is crucial for how we experience art, especially art that deals with sensitive subjects. The museum provides a safe and structured environment for looking. Security guards, descriptive labels, quiet, respectful visitors. You are free to look closely, to think deeply, and to form your own opinions without fear of judgment. The art is presented for study, not for commercial exploitation, not for cheap thrills. This removes the subject from the world of everyday life and places it in a realm of intellectual and aesthetic inquiry. While France, and particularly Paris, embraces the nude form in art with a certain matter-of-factness, this open approach is far from universal. Stepping outside this cultural bubble reveals a fascinating spectrum of attitudes toward the human body in art. It's a striking contrast. In many parts of the world, deeply ingrained cultural or religious norms foster a much more conservative handling of the subject. For instance, in many Middle Eastern or Asian societies, the public display of nudity, even in an artistic context, can be seen as deeply inappropriate or offensive, clashing with values of modesty and public decorum. Consequently, museums in these places might avoid collecting or showing such art altogether, curating their collections to align with local sensibilities. If they do show it, it's often handled with extreme care. The artwork may be placed in a separate, clearly marked room with an age restriction at the entrance. Warning signs and age limits are common tools to navigate these sensitive displays. This reflects a different cultural understanding of the body, one where modesty and privacy are prioritized, even within the walls of a gallery. These differences aren't about right or wrong, they're simply different cultural frameworks for interpreting the same subject. And even within so-called Western cultures, there are varying degrees of comfort. A museum dedicated to the nude form feels normal in Paris, but could spark significant public debate and controversy in other Western cities, like one in the American Midwest. This is why museums are often very sensitive to their local communities. They adapt their exhibition strategies because what is celebrated as high art in one place may be viewed as provocative in another. To bridge this gap, many museums use practical strategies to prepare visitors. They place clear warning signs at exhibition entrances, letting parents know that the content may not be suitable for all ages. This is a common and respectful practice that empowers visitors to make their own choices. Despite these varied approaches, most major museums share a core principle: the importance of artistic and historical context. These works are not presented for shock value, but as essential parts of human creativity and history. It makes you wonder, if a simple change of context can so profoundly alter our view of the human body, what other firm beliefs might also soften if we just saw them in a different frame? What are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments, and for more perspectives that challenge the everyday, explore our related videos on global trends and travel.